Senator Babet.
Thank you, President. My question is to the Minister representing the Health Minister, Senator Gallagher. The recent release of Australian Bureau of Statistics provisional mortality data for our nation shows all-cause mortality to the end of August is currently a staggering 18,671, or 17% higher than the historical average. Now, a report which appeared in the Lancet Medical Journal also shows that Europe is facing an increase in cancer diagnosis after an estimated 1 million cases of cancer went unfound due to the COVID lockdowns and other draconian measures. Can the Minister advise what we are doing here in Australia to make up for the many thousands of likely missed cancer diagnoses over the last 2 years?
Thank you, Senator Babet. Minister.
Thank you, President. I thank Senator Babet for the question, and we are working with the states and territories. There is no doubt. I mean, I don't want to align myself with the mortality data and this because I haven't seen what you were citing from. But the broad, well, that's fine. I'm not questioning it. I'm saying I haven't seen it. So my answer is in relation directly to the question, not the preamble. So the question was, what are we doing? There is no doubt that our health services over the last 2 years were significantly affected by the pandemic. So services that would normally be provided through hospitals, people going to GPs, people actually even seeking health treatment because they had a concern, significantly changed during the pandemic. We are working with the states and territories, as you would expect, through the National Health Reform Agreement, about transitioning out of the pandemic and the COVID focus. They'll have significant pressure on the hospitals, but also in primary care. And as people come forward, there is no doubt there was delayed seeking of health attention or seeking of health assistance and access to services through the pandemic. And it will take some time to work through that, but we are working with the states and territories through the Prime Minister and the First Ministers through National Cabinet about pressures in the health system and transitioning away from COVID-19 and the COVID-19 focus.
Thank you. Senator Babet, first supplementary.
Deaths with COVID-19, generally not solely from COVID-19, have been recorded by the ABS as 7,727 at the end of August. Even if we exclude all deaths with COVID-19, we are still seeing excess deaths of about 10,944. Can the Minister explain or advise what research, if any, is being done to look into the cause of this alarming excess mortality?
Thank you, Senator Babet. Minister.
Well, again, I haven't. Thank you, President, and for the Senator for the question. Again, I haven't seen the data to which the Senator is referring, so I think it is appropriate that I don't just immediately accept those statistics. But I think there will be, over time, a lot of information, a lot of research and assessment done about our response to COVID-19 and some of the other consequences of the fact our health system had to respond to a global pandemic, and therefore other services were either wound down, didn't operate, or people chose not to seek assistance during the pandemic. I have no doubt that there will be plenty of academics and researchers who are interested in that, assessing that, and then making recommendations about what should happen when the next global pandemic hits the country or all countries. So that,
thank you, Minister.
I'm sure there will be done.
Your time has expired. Senator Babet, second supplementary.
Now, we've seen some alarming data out of South Australia sourced by Senator Alex Antic, to my right, which shows a material increase in cardiac presentation in 15 to 44-year-olds commencing in July 2021, a time when there were very minimal COVID cases. What is the Minister doing to investigate the underlying cause of the spike in heart-related issues? Does the government still assert that the mRNA injections are still safe and effective?
Thank you, Senator Babet. Minister.
Thank you. Well, I haven't seen Senator Antick's research either, and I'm not sure of your background in epidemiology and assessing, what's the health trends during a global pandemic, but I can be corrected if you have some background in that. In relation to do we think the vaccines are safe? Yes. The TGA has gone through its processes. As you know, Senator Babbitt, they also report on adverse events, and myocarditis, pericarditis in younger people was one of the identified risks of those vaccines, and everybody was informed of that, and it was seen as a risk. Those people where it affected them, particularly younger men, as I understand it, those adverse events were recorded. But I should also say the vaccines have saved thousands and thousands of lives, particularly most vulnerable Australians, and the pandemic and the vaccine program was
Minister,
always
your time
about
has
responding to
expired.
that.
Thank you. Senator.
My kind of party, the United Australia Party. So sound the starting gun. You know we've just been